Hello and welcome to this Java tutorial. So in this video, we'll explore the conditional operators in Java. So there are actually two conditional operators in Java. There is conditional AND, which you represent by two ampersand symbols, and there is conditional OR, which you represent by two pipe symbols. So these are actually used to perform operations on two Boolean expressions. So that means you will join two conditions using conditional AND or using conditional OR. And the result you get is always a Boolean value, either true or false, depending on whether the specified condition is satisfied or not. So first is conditional AND, that will return true only if both expressions are true. Okay, so if you have two conditions, then both have to be true. If any of them is false, then the result is false. So for example, if you have two conditions, A and B, right? You are using conditional AND like this, A and B. Then this is the table you can use to find out what will be the result. So it will be true only if both are true, right? So true and true, then only true. Otherwise, it is always false. A false, B false, then false. A true, but B is false, then also false. A false, B true, then also false. So both have to be true in order for A and B to be true. So if you observe, right, that's how we put conditions in our daily conversation also, right? Like take a statement. If I am able to finish my work on time and traffic is less, then only I will be able to reach on time. So here what you are trying to say is both have to be true, right? So if it is like this, work is done, right? And say traffic is less, right? So both have to be true, then only you can reach on time, correct? If you finish your work on time, but there is lot of traffic on the road, then you may get late, right? Or let's say traffic is less, but you take more time to finish your work, then also you may be late. So both have to be true in order for your next statement that I'll be able to reach on time, then only that will be true. Or let's say we take another statement that if you have degree in computer science and you have at least 3 years of experience, then only you can apply for the job. So here also both have to be true. You should have a degree in computer science. You should have at least 3 years of experience. Then only you can apply for a job. So these are some examples. So in real world also you make statement like that only, right? So just trying to relate it with these conversations. Then we have conditional OR. So that will return true if at least one expression is true. So here, even if one expression is true, then also the whole expression becomes true. So that's how it differs from conditional AND, where both of the expressions have to be true. So suppose you have a condition A and B. If expression A is false, B is false, then your result is false with OR, because both are false. If one of them is true, then result is true. Both are true, then also true. False, true, then also true. So here you will have true in 3 scenarios, false only in 1. With AND you will have true value only in 1 scenario, other 3 will be false. So we can see this with the example also. I already have a class named conditional operator demo. Here we take 3 variables, let's say int a equal to 10, int b equal to 20, int c equal to 30. Let's first see in the same way using println. So suppose is A greater than B. A greater than C. We can write the same thing here. Okay. And let's do the same thing with OR also. So pipe symbol and pipe symbol. Now, if you see here, both will be false actually because space also here. If you see, if A greater than B, 10 greater than 20, no. So this is false. So if this is false, then anyway this statement will be false only because of AND. Here if you see A greater than B, no, false. You will check this also. If A greater than C, no. So both are false, that is why it is false. Let's say this is 5. Then if you see, this will be true, right? This will still be false. 10 greater than 20, no. So even if this is true, now 10 is greater than 5. But this will still be false because one of them is false. But now this will be true, or 10 greater than 20 false, but 10 greater than 5 is true. So this whole statement or whole expression becomes true now. So that is the difference between conditional and conditional or. So as we did in inequality and relational operators, this is just for showing how it behaves. You'll generally use it with some conditions or loop where you have to give condition. So we can do the same thing like this also. That's how you'll actually use, right? So A is greater than both B and C. If you are coming here, it will happen when A is greater than both B and C, right? Then only this will happen. But here, A is either greater than B or C. In any one of the case also, it will be true. Correct. So if you see, it is not going in the first one because A is not greater than B here, though it is greater than C. But it has to be greater than both B and C, then only it will go here. It is going here because A is not greater than B, but at least A is greater than C. So A is either greater than B or C. Don't need both here. Then B or C. Right? So that is how you can use conditional operator. So as exercise, we can also do, if you remember, right? This question we did, right? Find the greatest of three numbers. So int A equal to 25, B equal to 40, C equal to 30, then B is the greatest here. So in relational operator, we did this one, right? Like this. But now when you know about conditional operator, you can revisit that. And first condition, if you see, will be like this only. If A is greater than B and A is greater than C. Let's take one more. Greatest. In that case, greatest is A, right? Now we'll have a else if. And we can put equal also here. No harm in that. B greater than equal to A and B greater than equal to C. That means B is greater, right? Is greater than B and greater than C. That means it is the greatest. If both are false, that means greatest is C. So if we print here, by now we have the greatest value. Greatest number is plus greatest. In this case, it will be 20, right? Greatest number is 20. The same thing we did here, like this. Now, if you see, that is the better way, right? You can check both condition in one only. Becomes more compact. You can check with some other numbers also. Let's say this is 100, this is 67, this is -6. Then greatest number is 100. Let's say this is 7, this is also 7, and this is 6. Then greatest number is 7. So that's how we can do this problem. Find the greatest number of the three. All right, so that's how you can do the same problem using conditional operators. Now there is one thing more about the conditional operators which helps a lot actually, so you should have idea about it. That is known as short circuiting behavior. So when you use conditional operators in Java, right, they also show this property which is called short circuiting. What it means is that it will evaluate the second operand only if necessary. All right, so you can save some time, so execution is more efficient. You can also prevent some errors and unnecessary method calls. So if you see logically, right, with conditional and, if you evaluate first expression that is false, then anyway your whole expression is going to be false, right? So you don't need to evaluate the second expression. If this is false with and, this is true or false doesn't matter, right? This whole expression is anyway going to be false. That is what you mean by short circuiting behavior with conditional and. If this expression is evaluated and this is false, then it won't even go to this expression. In conditional or, if first is true, then anyway whole expression will evaluate to true even if second is false. So in that case, second expression is not evaluated. So if this evaluates to true, this is false or true doesn't matter. Anyway, your whole expression will be true. So this can be avoided. So using that, you can avoid many null pointer exception or other exception by making a check initially itself. What we are doing here, let's try to do it with the code ourselves. So short behavior. If we are checking, let's take the same. We have val1 equal to 5, let's say, and val2 equal to 10. And we make a check. If val1 is not equal to 0 and val2 divided by val1 equal to 2. In if block, then you will go there, right? Or let's say greater than equal to 2 in if block. In this case, it will go here because this is not 0 and 10 divided by 5 is at least equal to 2. Now suppose I make this 0. So it is not going there, which is correct also, that this is now false, right? Well, 1 not equal to 0, false, because it is equal to 0. But if we don't have this statement, then what happens? What I'm trying to say is now actually when this is false, Java is not even evaluating this expression. If it were doing it, evaluating this expression, you would have got arithmetic exception. We can see it by deleting this part. Now, if you see, if you try to do it, you will get exception, arithmetic exception, that you are trying to divide by 0, which is not possible. So that is what you are avoiding here actually by making a check before itself. That is what you do with the null check or checking for values which may throw exception. So I hope you understood, because we have this check, that is why we were able to avoid arithmetic exception, because when this is false, it is not even going in this this expression, because anyway this whole expression will evaluate to false. So that is how short circuiting behavior helps with these conditional operators. So that is about conditional operators which you use like this in pair, right? If you have some conditions, and as I showed in our daily conversation also, that's what we mean, right? When we give these conditions. If you are a graduate or you have 2 years of experience, then you can apply for a job. That means you should either be graduate or you should have at least 2 years of work experience. So any one of them should be true. And for and anyway, I gave, right, if I'm able to finish my work and traffic is less, then only I'll be able to reach on time. That means both have to happen. I should be able to finish my work and traffic should also be less. So that's how you use conditional operators in Java. And we have done one exercise also. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.